This don't look good. Feel like my computer is running slow right now. That's not a good thing. Hopefully it gets fixed very soon. Welcome to another episode slash edition slash installment of Free Thinkers. I'm one of the hosts, Q. I guess the rest of the hosts, they are rounding out their summer vacations and out living their best life. I'm not going to be long at all because I have another engagement to go to myself, but I did want to get on. Um, I really hope I'm not dragging because I can hear myself talking, but it's looking real choppy right now. I'm not sure what's going on. Hate that that's happening. Let me see. I'm trying to come out of everything that I can just so this computer can run a little bit better than it is. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we get it. Just trying to turn off every program possible. Let me see. I'm gonna get where's my background and my banners and all of this stuff. Okay, so if you want to join us, just click in the chat that you want to join. I'm only going to be on for about 25 minutes. Then I'm getting out of here. But what I do like to do, since I don't get a chance to get on our Free Thinkers Facebook page, then this is an opportunity to get on and also look at some things, get some commentary, and just view and talk about some of the things that look interesting. And if you are not already a part of our Facebook page, then make sure you're a part of that. And then you don't even have to wait every Tuesday for Free Thinkers to come on. You can be a part of it every single day. There's great topics, content, and conversation going on all the time. If you do decide to get on here, make sure that you have something in your ears to listen to. This is always an open forum, so you can join in anytime. I don't know if I have if you want to get on, just send me a message in the comments, and then I will send you a link, and then you can jump on with me. And all we're going to do is just talk about what we see on the thread a little bit. Let me see really quick. Okay, here we go. Banners. I'm trying to see. Let me take the banner off. Okay, so I'm on the Facebook thread. Like I said, I probably haven't looked at it much since the last time I was on. So let's see what they're talking about. I'm gonna get in because I don't have a lot of time, and I'm gonna jump straight in without the formal introduction. So let's see where we at. What do we got? I don't know if y'all can see this. Let me go a little bigger. All right. So this is, oh, that's an ad. How do we get ads on here? I was looking like, where is this coming from? And if this is an ad, then y'all send us some money. If y'all advertising on our page, then send us some money. Before I go to this video, I'm gonna read this to see if this is something that I want to talk about. I'm not too fond of people forcing stuff down my throat through ads to tell me if it's something that I want to watch. Let me see. Dr. Jake Porter, don't know who he is. Most couples think betrayal means the end, but what if healing didn't mean starting over? Here's the truth nobody tells you. There's certain things that there's content lingo that if you are a content creator, then certain identifiers of content lingo, it irritates you. One of those things that irritates me is when they say, here's the truth that nobody's telling you. This is what's going on and nobody's talking about it. That's content lingo. They're trying to make it seem like they just came up with something new under the sun, and there is nothing new under the sun. You did not strike some magical revelation or epiphany that nobody knows about. All right. I don't like that in general, but let me look at this. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Your relationship doesn't have to go back to square one. It can actually become stronger than it ever was before. I'm Dr. Jake Porter, and I've guided thousands of couples through the exact transformation. The ones who make it don't just forgive and forget. They understand what betrayal does to the nervous system and how to restore safety at the biological level. In Breaking Barriers, Building Bridges, I'll show you the proven framework that helps couples move from crisis to connection without pretending the past didn't happen. This is your roadmap forward. I'm not about to watch this video. I can tell you that right now. Now, what he's saying, so because this is what I know already. What he's saying in theory can be true. Relationships are not done or won or achieved in theory. It's done in actuality and in practice and in real time. And no matter what tools you are given, if both parties do not develop the maturity needed, if both parties do not develop the self-esteem and the confidence needed, none of the tools that you're given is going to work. Before any tools, before any mediation, before anything that you do, counseling, all of that, if people are not willing to work on themselves and develop, nothing else that you give them matters at all. Conflict resolution, managing emotions, because you can listen. I've seen it. I know this personally. I, with a ex of mine, we went to counseling. We got all the tools. We showed, we had a game plan on what we were going to do and how we're going to resolve conflicts. And all of that stuff is fine and nice while you are sitting down level headed and there is no actual issue at hand. The moment there becomes an issue and emotion steps in and people resort to their anger and their rage and their bitterness and their walls, all of those things, when that comes back in, tangled with the emotion and the feeling of the moment, if you ain't practiced that, then it don't matter. It reminds me of, I used to train boxing for a while. I knew this guy. I ain't gonna name no names. Guy we used to train with, and some of the people I knew trained with him. On paper, while we was training, he looked good. He knew how to do all the stuff. He jumping the rope. He good on the heavy bag. He hitting on the mitts. Everything, footwork, all that look good. Get in the ring in real time when them bullets is flying and them hands is being thrown. He was trash. And I was like, man, such and such, you looked the part while we was training. But it's a difference between going through the motions or practicing versus being able to do it in real time. Those are two different things. And so what he's talking about, sure, yeah, go ahead, make your money off of that. Tell people that you got the fix and it's a proven, it ain't no proven remedy. The proven remedy is you fix yourself first. If you ain't did that, then nothing else, any tools that you give and cannot be trusted because you don't know how to use the tools. You can give me every single component and tool I need to build an iPhone. But if I don't have the knowledge and the wherewithal and if I don't have the mental tools to know how to put it together, it's just a bunch of parts. You can give me all the parts to a car. You can give me all the parts to just name it. You can give me the pieces and the tools, but if I don't know how to properly put them together, when, where, how, what timing, and how things work with it, it just ain't going. It don't matter. It's not gonna work. So I'm not going to listen to his video because, yeah, I don't think it's necessary. Oh, all right. Yeah, look at this. I'm going down on the thread right now. I don't like. I don't know where this came from. And you might be asking, Q, why are you laughing because of this girl crying right here? I and this is Heather King, free thinker Heather King. Shout out to Heather. Um, I just before I even get into the story, I don't do people cry? Of course. Do people even cry online or over social media? Yeah, sometimes. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it can happen depending on what you're talking about. But for you to take a picture and post it, like, that's just strange work to me. That's strange work to me. And I see some people, they'll get on live by themselves and they just be boohooing. I'm like, man, you need to get some friends. That really tells me you don't have any, either you have a strong desire for attention and sympathy. And I know I sound harsh, but you have a strong desire for attention and sympathy, or you just don't have a base group of friends that you can actually call to get support. Because why would you want social media support? That's not real. And they get all the hands and the heart emojis and the hands that I'm praying for you and all that. None of these people, half the people who saying I'm praying for you and everything gonna be all right, over half those people, if you called them, they wouldn't answer. And you ain't even got to know their number at this point. All you got to do is just you can dial them up on Messenger, and half of them won't answer. So that's one of those things to where you just gotta pay attention to, like, why are you trying to get that type of attention during, yeah, that don't make sense to me. But anyway, let's find out what she actually talking about. All right. And I don't know if I believe, sometimes they just throw pictures along with the story that they made up. Um the social media attention just drive me crazy sometimes. But let's see. You don't need to see this girl crying like that all the time. Okay. My husband came home last week in a worrying state. He asked to talk. This is when he explains to me I have a mistress and she's pregnant. I don't know if I believe this. I don't know if I believe this from the, but anyway, let me just go with the story. I'm just listen. Unless the mistress is threatening to tell the woman, men and women, they just ain't coming clean out of nowhere unless they being forced to come clean. And the man, even if he got to come clean, he not gonna tell you to the baby here. He gonna be like, let me make sure. Listen, if a man got a mistress and the mistress is pregnant, he not telling you that she pregnant. First of all, he gonna wait. Is the baby gonna make it to term? If the baby do make it to term, do the baby look like me? Do I have to? And then let me get a DNA test. Let me can. A man is going to make sure that the baby arrives, that the baby look like them, and that the DNA test confirms it before he ever goes to his wife and tells somebody that he got his mistress pregnant. So just off rip, I'm not buying this as a legitimate story, but we'll play along with it. So one thing y'all gonna have to learn about me. I'm very I'm very much of a cynic when it comes to the validity of a lot of these internet stories. I believe 60, 70% of these stories that happen are just made up fictitious stories because people need to put content because, you know, they want viewership for their pages. And then got this girl crying out of nowhere. Why does she keep looking at me crying with this big old tear out of her eye? I look like I look like a digital tear. I don't even know if that's a real tear. That's the thickest tear. You can't even see through that tear. All right. This is when he explains to me, I have a mistress and she is pregnant. She's threatening to tell you everything if I don't send her to Europe. What? Shut up. Now I do get the threatening part. Like if they threaten, like if you don't tell your wife, then I'm gonna tell her. That those things can't happen. But talking about sending her to Europe, I don't know. Okay, listen. So at this point in time, I'm going to stop my cynicism and I'm just going to treat this like it's a real story. Okay. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it through the story. I'm going to treat this like a real story. Okay. right. She's threatening to tell you everything if I don't take her to Europe. I'd rather you learn it from me than her. Baby, please forgive me. My problem is that I don't know how to tell my husband that his mistress is a liar. I know 100% she's lying because my husband is infertile, but he doesn't know it himself. If I tell him the truth about his mistress, he will know on the same occasion that our two children are not his. What am I supposed to do? Okay. So he was like, all right, baby, I got to come straight with you. Got me a little side thing over here, and I got her pregnant. She telling me I got to take her to Europe, otherwise she gonna out me. But I just figured that it's better for me to be straight up with you than you hear from somebody else. Now the wife is like, I can't tell him that his little soldiers ain't even marching and he's infertile. And the fact is his two kids I know that because his two kids ain't even his. And I already know. Maybe she got some doctor work done and she knows that he's infertile. Now, this is easy though, to tell you the truth. How much time I got? I got a few minutes left. This is the easy part. My problem now, let me go back to what she's saying. My problem is that I don't know how to tell my husband that his mistress is a liar. I know 100% she's lying because my husband is infertile, but he doesn't know it himself. If I tell him the truth about his mistress, he will know on the same occasion that our two children are not his. Now, this is the crazy part. It says, what am I supposed to do? That's the easy part. Um, you don't tell him. I mean, look, this is where you just hold out the lie because I tell you what you don't do. You don't tell him that the kids ain't his. That's absolutely what you don't do. So you can just throw that out the window. So you knowing that he's infertile or yeah, don't, that's not something that you would mention. You gotta, if you didn't started off this relationship and you've been in this life for many years because you got kids together, then you probably need to go and ride that lie on out. Why would you come clean when it's going to be worse on you than it is going to be on him? Because even in this scenario, you the worser person in this. You've been messing around probably even before he was, and the consequences of your actions are more harsh than is. So then yeah, let him have 3 kids. That's not really his. Just let it keep rolling. Now then this is how you play the role. Still, you know, express your anger and rage and you be upset and then you can milk it out and get you get you a vacation. That's what you do. No, if you taking her on a vacation to Europe, then you taking me to whatever. You taking me to Hawaii. You pick the vacation you want to go on. If you know she going on a vacation to Europe, then you make sure that you get your trip too. And you get your ring upsized and you get look, this is some of the worst advice that I'm giving. But the principle of this is if y'all have been comfortable living a lie, nobody else is going to agree with me, but I say ride that lie on out. Both of y'all been lying for a good portion of your marriage. Ride the lie out. And this is the thing, and I'm going to cut quick because maybe I can get to one more topic. This is the thing, too. We as people assume that everybody want the truth and everybody want to keep it a buck and 100. That's not true. There's a lot of people who ignorance is bliss and they prefer deception over the truth. As long as it's presented to them in a palatable way that they can deal with it, then they're okay. Don't assume this is a relationship toucher right here. Don't assume everybody want to know the truth. And don't always go off and start telling the truth because you're trying to ease your guilty conscience. Easing your guilty conscience does not always work out best for that other person. What you need to do, number one, work on your character. Find out why you do some of those things if you don't desire to do them, and start fixing yourself. Change your actions, change your habits. Also, be careful with your behaviors. We did a podcast a couple years ago, how to do wrong right. How to do wrong the right way. Because we flawed individuals. There's certain times if you're doing wrong, then you need to do it the right way. Or you need to be most responsible when you are doing wrong. So getting drunk is not really good for you on any level. You lose your awareness. You can put yourself in compromising positions, just damaging to your body. There's a lot of things. Really getting drunk, there's not real upside into getting sloppy drunk. But if you are going to do it, catch an Uber. If you are going to do it, have a designated driver. If you are going to do it, make sure you're in comfortable environments. Make sure you got a co-partner with you that is accountable to you. You can do wrong, but still do it the right way, or do it in the most optimal way that minimizes adverse consequences. All right, I got 3 minutes. Let me see if I can do one more real quick. I told y'all this is gonna be quick. All right, I gotta find this episode. Who is this? Free Thinkers, this Nikki. How much time do I got on this? And this is Podcasts Expeditiously with T.I. I'll be honest, I have not watched T.I.'s podcast in years. I don't even know if he's still doing the podcast. T.I. is one of my favorite rappers and artists. He's one of my least favorite podcasters because he's so buttoned up. Hopefully, since he started, he's gotten to a place where he shares more and he's more vulnerable and more open. But he's very profile. He's very image conscious. And I think a lot of times that doesn't make for good podcasting material when you're always so closed in as far as what you want to share. So yeah, favorite artist, one of my least favorite podcasting people. Yeah, and his new album is fire, by the way, too. His new album came out last month. If you ain't watched that, you need to be listening if you're a T.I. fan. All right, let me see what he's saying and see if we can get some quick commentary on this.
That's Black people hate everything about slavery except Christianity.
Well, it depends on what you think Christianity is. So for me, Christianity isn't what Christians have made it to be.
I'm talking about the Western belief of Christianity.
Well, just because slavery.
So you got to be careful when somebody's making a point. Where'd my lights go? Be careful when somebody making a point. You gotta, and that's what I do like about Free Thinkers, because we run everything down, and you can't give out misinformation for the sake of trying to get to a bigger point. So even when he says Black people hate everything about slavery except for Christianity, not necessarily true. We still don't eat well, and we enjoy a poor diet that came from slavery. So I ain't gonna get too much in the weeds, but let's back this up real quick. Let me make sure I'm understanding correctly.
Black people hate everything about slavery except Christianity.
I can go food. I can go how we deal with each other. We have a shorter fuse with each other than we do with other people oftentimes. It's a little nuances in there to what he's saying, but let me see if I can understand the main point of what he's saying.
Well, it depends on what you think Christianity is. So for me, Christianity isn't what Christians have made it to be.
I'm talking about
It's
the
not.
Western belief of
Okay.
Christianity.
Well, just because slave masters use Christianity doesn't
Absolutely.
mean they.
That's what
There you go.
that's the point.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
God's word is everlasting, how can you change the word of God that's everlasting
Yeah.
to suit your
There
personal
you go.
benefit?
Yeah, they weren't.
How can you do that?
Well,
Yeah. Okay. There is a point in there, and I got to be real brief because I do got to get out of here. I think this will be better for a group topic later on. We might try to touch on this a little bit more next week. But there's arguments on both sides. I do think Christians too often try to take words and fit them into their agenda the same way that I see Democrats and Republicans do that. And it's just like, no matter what a person says or does, if you're on the side of it, then you take up for that side and you try to rephrase it and reform it to a way that is palatable and understanding. And if you hate it, then you just hate it. But I think there has to be some honesty and openness. So the problem is, and I'm out of time. I got to get out of here. Shoot, do I want to? Okay, let me touch this real quick. The problem is that the religions themselves don't give you much wiggle room for separate thought, separate opinion. So for instance, I consider myself a Christian, a believer of the teachings and the doctrines and the actions and attitudes of Christ. However, many of the tenets that Christians believe, like Bible being infallible, I don't believe that. The words have been rearranged for certain agendas. I do believe there is some truth to that as well. I don't believe that the Bible is infallible. I do believe things have been changed for intention and also been changed for just from translation. If you're going from Greek or Hebrew to Arabic to English to translation, things will get missed and lost in translation. So those things happen as well. And you have to be open to say that, yeah, what was originally presented, it's almost like it's somewhere in the middle to me. The words get lost in translation. Is not necessarily as much of the words being changed in order to control people for slavery, but the interpretation and the emphasis and the focus of scriptures in the Bible were changed or highlighted for a certain agenda. So it's not even so. For instance, Philemon, there's a book in the Bible, Philemon or Philemon, how some people say it. That's a book that slave masters use to keep people, basically telling them to return back to their slave masters. There's other scriptures that say counter, but they would have you focus on those scriptures. They would have you focus on the scriptures that tell you to forgive. They would have you focus on things that tell you to, if somebody takes this, then give them your cloak also. It was a whole lot of stuff in the Bible that did the opposite. But depending on how you present it or where you put emphasis at, then it will dictate overall how you view the Bible. So that's a conversation for a deeper time. And I am out of time because I got to get ready to go. Guys, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you have any topic ideas, make sure you send them to us or send them to the Facebook page. And we will talk about it in Free Thinkers. We will bring it up as a topic, or you can just go to our Facebook page and be a part of the thread conversation with the rest of our Free Thinkers. Until next week, have a good one. It was fun.